We are talking Bitcoin. Bitcoin broke through $60,000 price barrier on the weekend for the first time since April. Many are expecting new highs. They might have even been reached by the time you're watching this video. What is more interesting is the possibility this could start another bull run and lift the price another 50% or even more. We're diving deeper into why the first ETF on the New York Stock Exchange is as important as it says. Welcome back to BeInCrypto. My name is Jessica, and guys, if you haven't yet already, subscribe. We bring you these videos several times per week. Now we're talking Bitcoin's ETF, and this goes way back. The first time the Bitcoin ETF was mentioned was all the way back in 2013 when the Winklevoss twins, the founders of Gemini crypto exchange, looked to start a Bitcoin ETF, but they weren't so successful. More recently, on December the 30th, 2020, VanEck also filed for a Bitcoin ETF that would invest directly in Bitcoins. However, in mid-September, the SEC delayed this discussion on VanEck's Bitcoin Trust for an additional 60 days. It's now expected to be approved or rejected by November the 14th. So yesterday, ProShares, an exchange-traded company, listed an ETF that tracks Bitcoin futures on the New York Stock Exchange. It's listed as BeINCrypto. So the ProShares CEO actually said in a statement that BeINCrypto will open up exposure for Bitcoin to a large sentiment of investors who have brokerage accounts that are comfortable buying stocks and ETFs, but don't really desire to go through the learning curve of establishing another account with a crypto provider. Shares of BitCrypto so far are up 3% at the time of me recording, and they've also dominated the headlines across financial media. Now let's talk volatility. We have to cover it here. The crypto industry has been longing for a Bitcoin-related ETF for many years, especially with the increased demand by larger investors to get into the action. This has been a tumultuous time for cryptocurrency. Bitcoin began to explode its price on September, shooting from just under $12,000 at the beginning of the month to over $60,000 by April. A wave of bad news with an Elon Musk getting into the market and showing his support on Bitcoin, a crackdown of cryptocurrency in China, has caused some price fluctuations along the way. In July, however, Bitcoin briefly fell below 30,000. Instead of causing investors to pause, this volatility has actually increased the appetite of exposure to Bitcoin. This is where futures and funds come in, and we're going to get into the difference. So we're going to start with futures. Futures are contracts that commit investors to buy or sell a commodity at a certain price on a certain date. For instance, you could commit to buying one Bitcoin for $100,000 in 5 years' time. If the price of that Bitcoin on that date is $200,000, you've made some money. But if the price of the Bitcoin on that date is $50,000, you've lost money. A futures ETF is notably different from a standard exchange-traded fund, which Bitcoin enthusiasts have been lobbying for. A typical ETF would give investors exposure to the underlying asset, in this case, Bitcoin. Whereas a futures ETF allows investors to speculate on the price of the asset. Policymakers have said in the past that cryptocurrencies are way too prone to fraud and manipulation to be approved for an ETF backed by actual Bitcoins. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Now, regardless of that, cryptocurrencies are being integrated into the SEC framework, and this is evidently enough to boost Bitcoin and many other cryptocurrencies in the short term. Now let's touch on Bitcoin and crypto ETFs on a larger scale. Crypto ETFs have launched this year in Canada and Europe, as well as seeing surging interest in digital assets. VanEck and Valkyrie are among the fund managers purchasing US-listed ETF products, although Invesco on Monday dropped its plans for a futures-based ETF. And even the Nasdaq approved on Friday the listing of Valkyrie's Bitcoin Strategy ETF, and also Grayscale, the world's largest digital currency manager, is planning to convert its Grayscale Bitcoin Trust into a spot Bitcoin ETF. That's reported by CNBC this week. So it seems the ETF markets are getting its attention it deserves, but what does the cryptocurrency community think? It's definitely not the same as buying a traditional Bitcoin, but what do you think about it? Will it be a success? And will more Bitcoin and crypto ETFs follow? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you are looking to get involved, you can buy VeChain and Cake on StormGame, which is BeInCrypto's partner crypto exchange. The link is down in the description box below, and you might get a cashback promo on your very first deposit. That is all for this video. Share your thoughts, subscribe. We'll see you all again next time.